to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show and the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex the Cargirl Rosio, Hot Rod Bob Beck, plus Dar Hawthorne and Donnie Couch.
Welcome to the show, Speed Scene Live, the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. I'm one of those sportsman racers. My name is Lucky, and another sportsman racer, Diana Might.
I'm one of those sportsman racers, too, just like all of you out there.
That's right. We've also got Hot Rod Bob Beck.
Hey,
Bob
guys.
always brings us the best gas in town.
That's right.
The great American auto scene.
Classic gas.
And over there, even though he's one-handed, he says he can run an internet TV show with one hand tied behind his back.
I've got my little Tyrannosaurus Rex claw. I'm working it, baby.
You've
That's
been winged.
Bruce Barker. Now, you know what? Next week we've got a great person coming on the show. We're going to talk about this car. But tonight we will talk with Top Fuel Funny Car driver Dale Creasy. He's got a great story. He's been on the show before. We really enjoyed talking to him. We've invited him to come on back. So we will be talking with Dale Creasy a little bit about his Tech Pack Funny Car.
And we're also going to be talking with Derrick Beach about PDRA. Everybody knows that. And Pete Liebig, he's actually the photographer at Barona Drag Strip, and he's going to be talking about the upcoming Match Race Madness race at Barona. And, of course, we all love Bob and his gas. Bob, what are you talking about tonight?
Well, you know, back in the early days of the 50s of custom cars, the factories were building their own custom cars. They called them concept vehicles. We're going to take a look back at some of the ones that could have been, should have been, or maybe good thing they didn't. We'll take a look at some of those classic gas machines. But, you know, what's also coming up is next week, like Lucky said, that one big, badass, big red Camaro. They're going to be here. They're going to be talking to us about this car. And I'll tell you what, when you hear the stories about what this 69 Camaro can do, you'll be shocked. Now, also, later on in the month, we're going to have the Red List race at Bakersfield. We're going to talk about that. The Geezer Gassers, and more. Plus, Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne will be having the Nitro Report.
Wow, that's all on shows upcoming. Hey, you know, a little bit of info. This big red Camaro we're looking at, it is available on the network, NBCSN. Now, the name of the show, you can look this up online to get start times and stuff, because I don't claim to be the official aficionado of officialdom. But it's called Big Red, the original outlaw racer. We're looking at the car right now. It's on NBCSN, 8 o'clock at night, Mondays. Now, I got an indication it might be 9 Eastern Standard Time. So, look, the safe bet is, because a lot of times networks will re-air shows as well. Check your listings. Go online, NBCSN. The name of the show is Big Red, the original outlaw racer. There's going to be 8 Mondays, actually. So it is 9 o'clock Eastern Time that it starts. And it runs for 8 Mondays. And, man, you get to see some action involving this car. The driver is R.J. Gottlieb. So check it out, NBCSN.
Well, you know, let's go to the phones right now. Diana Might, you have one of the most popular Top Fuel Funny Car drivers on the circuit. On the phone right there. Why don't you bring them onto the show?
Well, let's go to line 1 and welcome Dale Creasy. Dale, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Well, glad you could have me back.
Well, Dale, we had such a good time talking to you before, you know, and, you know, you're the guy that I always tell people. We put our crack team of researchers on the job, and we say, find some dirt on this guy, and there's nothing on you, man. Everybody likes you.
Oh, my gosh, you should be a politician then. You know, if there's no dirt on you, you might as well run for office.
No politics.
What fun would
I
that
always
be?
figure if you just keep your head down and do your job, you know, work, because I love what I do.
Oh, then you couldn't
And
be a politician.
don't bother anybody.
You want to work.
They're all trying to do the same thing, and, you know, everybody's working as hard as they can, so...
Just bother the guy. You just bother the guy in the next lane over when you get there first.
Yeah, no, and I don't even think about them when everybody says, you know, you're good friends before and after, but once we get in the car, I don't even think about who's over there. I just think about not making any mistakes. Don't do anything stupid. You know, don't hold the other guy up, and hopefully we can win.
You run your own lane, do your job, And sometimes you come out with the win light, and sometimes you don't. But if you don't screw up, you figure you did well.
Yeah, as long as everything goes as planned, and if you get outrun, you get out and shake the guy's hand, and you try to beat him the next time.
You know, that must be my problem because I'm thinking of 100 things when I line up to the guy next to me. Oh, my God, am I going to red light? Oh, my God, is he going to red light? Who's going to go first? Am I going faster than him? Who's leaving first? You know, that's my problem.
Yeah, I always stage first, and I don't do that to mess with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everybody knows each other's routines. And once we start the car and get done with the Barona, it is time to go. So I put the light on and wait for the other guy, and then we both go in, and, you know, they don't play no games.
There you go.
Because once you pull the high side on, it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time to get down to business. And when you drive these cars, you got your hands full. It's not like my 9-second, C-gas car. We've seen the in-car footage, and you're steering, and you're working the handbrake, and you're doing a lot of stuff, Dale.
You know, and I never realized how much you're steering until I saw an in-car camera, because you're not thinking about steering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like driving down the highway and a curve comes up. You don't think about turning; you just do it. You know, so it's There's times in there that I wish I didn't have to work as hard as I did, and sometimes I cause that. You know, once you oversteer it, then it's hard to get it back. But they're fun to drive, and I mean, when things go right, there's nothing better. When things go wrong, you wish you were somewhere else.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about things going wrong, but I got to remind people, when they see you steering like this is what you're doing in order to go straight. You're not on a road course. You're going down a quarter-mile straight line, and you're working the butterflies, and you're manhandling that car down the track.
Yeah, and from behind, it looks like it's moving around, but the front end's staying where it belongs. You know, you try to keep the front end in the groove, and sometimes you overwork it and the back end starts moving around, but your goal is to keep the front end in the groove, because that's where the best traction is.
Well, and you only want to go 1320 feet. You don't want to go 1380 feet.
Yeah, shortest distance, right?
Right, A to B. Now, a few years ago, and we were talking to you about this on the show before, you had a bad crash, and it was a we got into that whole deal. But recently, you had another crash at a track, and it wasn't as devastating. But the interesting thing about this crash, and this is you behind the wheel of the Tech Pack funny car. Is Tech Pack the correct pronunciation?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I want to make sure that we give them their propers. But the thing that that I found was so interesting about this is, it was a regular day. You had the car, you're running the track, and you had a little trouble with the car. What actually caused the crash?
To this day, we still don't 100% know exactly what caused it. Something got under the tires.
A little oil or water or something?
And don't know where it came from, because it didn't come from our car. And I'm not blaming the track, because I watched them clean it, because somebody had crashed like 3 or 4 pairs in front of us, and we were just testing. So, I mean, it was just a casual day. Nobody was in any hurry. And the thing went out and started spinning the tires, and it's done that a million times, and this time it just went sideways.
Now,
and it tried to spin around backwards.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, you'll see it. You'll see it in a second, Diana.
Is it this run right here?
This run right here.
Okay, so we're showing it.
And Dale, you've a million times you've had this happen, and you've had to pedal it or steer it or reel it back in. So you're used to it kind of moving around and then going straight. So you weren't ready for this.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
Holy cow!
Oh no!
Ooh, that looks like it hurt.
That was quick. Whatever it caught,
it
caught
and
quick.
it spun around. It was like it was on ice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And you know what? I can't find anything to blame it on. So I went through everything. We built a new car. Todd Schumacher Racing was nice enough to let me have a new car, on payments, so I could get going. And
well, let me stop you there, because this is the real story. When you crashed that car, and you were okay, right? First off,
yeah,
okay, you were all right. But the real interesting thing about this whole deal is all the competitors that you race against, and this doesn't happen in any other form of racing. All the people that are trying to beat you and you're trying to beat, they all came together to help you get back together and be whole again.
Before we got back to the pit, because the Greek was there, Chris Karamesini is a good friend of ours, he was on the phone with Don Schumacher Racing, setting something up for me before we even got back to the pit.
Wow.
That is amazing. I mean, just that attitude of, oh my gosh, he wrecked his car. What can we do to help?
Yeah, and it was, I mean, Tim Wilkerson offered me a spare car. You know, the Crop Duster funny car offered me, he's got a big show car.
Yeah.
Gilbertson called. There was a lot of people that called. It was overwhelming, but I appreciated everything they did, but, you know, putting all that time and effort into somebody else's car wasn't going to help me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we needed to get our own car together, and we picked it up at Schumacher's on a Thursday, and the next Saturday it was back in the trailer.
You know, it's weird. I'm looking at the front end because it seemed like, you know, you would have gotten a flat tire to make you spin that way, or a tire, something would, you know, in the front end would have broken. But everything looks nice and straight as you're pulling it up on that trailer. So it would have had to have been, like you said, something you slipped on the track because you moved like you moved on ice.
Well, after it hit the wall, it looked like it looked like the fire bottle came out.
Yeah. But,
yeah, it broke the whole front end off the car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it destroyed the chassis. It didn't hurt the front tires, but everything in front of that was gone.
Really?
Yeah, and then it hit the back so hard that it broke the billet center of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
wow.
Man, and now you must have really felt that down deep when it hit, because it looked like it hit super hard.
Yeah, the first hit wasn't so bad. The second one was pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
But the safety stuff we wear the 7-joint seatbelts and the Hans device, and we have all the head pads. And, you know, there were some bruises. I mean, my shoulders and my knees, and, you know, the way your body can move places that you don't think it can move when it's under that kind of G-force. And all I did was when we stopped, I made sure I wiggled all my toes and my fingers and made sure everything was moving.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I jumped out, and the guy said, "Are you okay?" I said, I'm fine, but look at this race car. It's destroyed." So it took a day or so to get my quit whining about it, and I woke up and I looked at my wife and I said, "I'm going to fix my race car."
Well, you weren't even at half track when this happened, so you were still.
Oh, it wasn't 200 feet out.
Yeah, he was right there. You know, it kind of reminds me of, you know, if you hit black ice when you're driving in the snow and all of a sudden everything clears up and then there's like black ice on the road and you don't expect it. And you just
that's what it felt like. And there was nothing I could. I mean, I was trying.
Mm-hmm.
There was, you know, grabbing the brake and turning the wheel and doing everything I could, and it was inevitable that it was going to hit the wall. So I just let go of the steering wheel and grabbed my elbows.
Yeah, which
that
is,
way, couldn't break my wrists.
Exactly.
Wow. Is that
Yeah, because with the butterfly, the butterfly spins around and.
Yeah.
Now the good news is, I mean, if this had happened at 1,000 feet. That could have been a lot worse because you would have had a lot more mile per hour.
Oh, it would have been a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
We have had oil dripping off the car at the other end from a piston burning and stuff like that, and it's never gone sideways like that. So I don't know how to explain it. You know whether we had a tire equalize. You know, we can't find anything wrong, but I threw those tires away, and you know, pressure tested every line. And the new car that we got now is the newest state-of-the-art slip tube chassis from Don Schumacher Racing, and it's a lot nicer than what we had.
Wow.
So in the long run, or in the short run, you came out a little bit better on the other end. It wasn't cheap, but you had a major upgrade.
Yeah, and it was, you know, in hindsight, we could have upgraded our chassis by front halving it and doing the same, because the back half's the same as theirs. But the front half is where all the magic is, and things move and slip and keep the front tires on the ground, and, you know, it's just a way better deal. It was just, you know, who could afford to do that? And then all of a sudden now I got to buy a whole car.
Yeah.
So, you know, it worked out good, and it's, you know, if it wasn't for the people helping us, Force Racing, and, you know, everybody, Strange Engineering, and, you know, Tech Pack and Beaver Shredding, and everybody stood behind us, and it took us less than 2 weeks, and we had a new car back in the trailer.
Wow. Well, is there anybody else, any other sponsors, anybody else that you'd like to mention or thank for the help in this situation?
Yeah, well, there's always, you know, Polydyne TX7, Specialty Fasteners, Ross Pistons, Miller Rods. You know, everybody called and offered something. And, you know, it was overwhelming. Stevenson Crane has helped me out for years. They were concerned about what happened. You know, first and foremost, they're concerned about me, and that's the least of my worries. I already knew I was okay. You know, I just wanted to figure out how to get my race car back together. But, yeah, the racing community, you know, what people see on the outside is it's better, because when this happened, you knew who all your friends were.
Well, and that's the thing. You knew who your friends were because they came to you when you needed it. And, something that Dynamite says all the time is, karma always comes around. And that goes both ways. If you're a not so nice person, karma will come around and get you. But in your case, you're a great guy. Everybody likes you. Like you said, you keep your nose clean. And karma came around and they helped you out. So that was really a big deal. And Dale, we want to thank you so much for calling in. I wanted to share this story because I was really touched because I just thought it was so cool that all these people helped you get back to the next race, And I think that's something that it's nice to share. And with all the things going on, all the bad news, it's nice to share good news like that. Right, Dynamite?
Yeah, it's all these grizzly bears out there, and they're all just nice guys. You just got to get to know them.
Yeah, and when's your next race? When are we going to see you again?
We're going to run the Norwalk Night of Fire on August 15th, and then we're going to run Brainerd.
Okay.
And then we're going to run St. Louis National Event, HRA National Event, and then we end the season at Martin, Michigan for the Funny Car Nationals on September 12th.
Great. Well, Dale, we wish you much luck and be safe. Thank you so much for calling into Speed Sea Live.
Dale, it's a pleasure and honor to talk to you. And you know what? I hope this car is the ticket for your continued success.
It's getting to be more fun again, so we're happy. Things are moving in the right direction.
Nice. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bruce, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about the Professional Drag Racers Association, the PDRA. They got some races coming up. We're going to talk about those. Be right back.
How many of you ever happened to see Speed Scene live on your computer? You got a great show, and you have lots of fun. And I will be back on whenever I'm invited.
M&H Tires, makers of racing tires that give you the best bite for the buck. You've paid a lot for that horsepower. Make sure you use it all. M&H Tires has the best compounds available for maximum traction. Go to mandhtires.com. That's mandhtires.com. Buy direct and save at the website and mention the Speed Scene for a 5% discount. That's right, mandhtires.com. Call them at 661-324-4773. M&H Tires has tech guys ready to answer your questions or to recommend the best tire for you, slicks or DOT. M&H Tires has it all. M&H were the first to create racing tires for muscle cars and also the first to create racing tires for sport compact cars. Legendary M&H Tires. Shop online. Mention the Speed Scene and save 5%. Get the best racing tires, great personal service, and save 5%. Go to mandhtires.com or call them at 661-324-4773. mandhtires.com.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com.
All right, welcome back to Speed Scene Live, your place to race on the computer every Tuesday night right here. And with us tonight, as always, keeping things hot and heavy, it's Lucky.
Hot and heavy.
Yeah, well, you keep things going. The real hot person here, we know it's Diana Mike.
You always do that. You try to trick the audience, don't you?
Oh, it's always working. I get myself
Funny
all
man.
confused. Yes. And working the board with only one wing, it's the amazing Bruce Barker.
Yeah, but one still works, It's
Yeah.
like I'm up on two wheels. That's all there is
That's
to
it.
it. Yep.
Hey, that was a great talk with Dale Creasy. But Dynamite, you've got a young man on the phone right now that has been doing a great job with the PDRA. He's been working the announcing booth. He's been doing a lot of work. Why don't you bring him on the show?
I would like to welcome Derrick Beach. Derrick, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Hey, how are you guys tonight?
We're great.
Derrick, welcome to the show. You've been doing a great job in the announcer's booth out there, let me tell you.
Thank you very much. The PDRA has been a great year this year. We're in race number 6, going into race number 7 already, so halfway through the season, and it's been great.
Well, I understand you guys just finished up the MDIR race, and you got Memphis coming up in just a couple of weeks, so you're gearing up for that, huh?
Yeah, 2 great IHRA facilities that we went to. It's just a Class A facility up there at MDIR, and the whole team that they had. We had a great spectator crowd, some of the best drag racing we've seen all year, and you can't forget that the Nitrous Wars have been heating up. We had that huge match race up there between Travis Harvey and
spit it out.
What's his name?
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Stevie Fast. Man, he's going to kill me if he's listening to this. But that was a big match race, so it's definitely heating up.
Well, I got to tell you that we set up this interview with the infamous Jimmy Biggs, because he's always working behind the scenes to promote the PDRA, and Jimmy has such a love and a passion for drag racing. But I got to tell you, Jimmy told you a little bit of a lie, Derrick, because he's actually not.
Jimmy?
Yeah, he's actually not under the weather tonight. He told you he wasn't feeling good, and he wanted you to fill in. But actually, the reason that you're filling in tonight is because you have a big announcement about a new job position, and Jimmy thought this would be the best place for you to share that announcement. What do you think, Derrick?
You guys are going to let this one out of the bag?
Yep.
We're going to let it out. We know the story, but we would like you to tell everybody else out there, because you know what? We think it's a good deal, and we're really happy about it.
No, it is. I'm very honored. The PDRA with the Franklin family and Jason Mitchell Scruggs. It's a Class X facility, and I'm really proud to announce with coming on as the Senior Vice President of Marketing for the PDRA.
Wow, congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And this is the first time we've announced this. We haven't even got the press release out about it, so this is pretty cool, done on Speed Scene Live, and we're pretty pumped up.
Well, that's how it is with the internet, where you something happens, boom, 2 minutes later, we can talk about it. Those print magazines, they'll be coming out later, a couple weeks down the road.
Yeah.
It'll all be out. But, we're drag racers, okay? I drive a car. Diana might drive a car.
We want instant gratification.
We like things fast.
Yes, and we want it now. Well, I don't know if we want it that fast.
Well, now, Derrick, this is a great group, and now that you're going to be part of it, and you've kind of worked your way up through the ranks, pretty much, so to speak, don't you think?
Yeah, I have. I've always run up around drag racing. Started in the junior ranks when I was 8, and moved up. Still run a super comp car and bracket race actively, and started announcing when I was 11 or 12.
Wow!
And did the NHRA National Event Tour for a few years when I turned 16 and 17, and still actively announced the NHRA. And then the PDRA came along, and this was just a fabulous deal that Bob Harris and everybody offered me, and with Carl Robinson and of course Brian Olson, who is getting better back in Indianapolis right now, and it's really been growing. And this, the PDRA is the most premier drag racing series out there with 200 mile per hour, 8th mile pro mods. You can't beat that. Wow. And when this job opportunity came open, Bob Harris called me up, and we talked about it. And then in Maryland, got to sit down and talk with Tommy and Judy Franklin, and then Jason and Mitchell Scruggs. And I'm really glad that they decided to go with me with the Senior Vice President of Marketing, and we're hoping to do some big things in the PDRA.
Well, the association has really proved itself to be one of the premier places to see exciting racing. And, I know some of the other associations have come and gone, and the PDRA is really, really, I feel, found prove to themselves, to the racers and the fans, that they're here to stay.
It's by far here to stay. There's no doubt in my mind. We go to some of the best markets in the U.S., some of the best racetracks that anybody has to offer, and we, quite frankly, have the best fans and the best racers that any organization out there has. And we're very blessed. We're very lucky to have those people on board with us. And we couldn't do it without our sponsors. We have some of the best marketing sponsors that anybody could find out there, and each and every one of them contribute greatly to the PDRA success.
Why don't you mention some of those sponsors now? Let's show them a little love.
Oh my gosh! We have over 50, almost 55 sponsors.
Well, don't tell all of them. No.
You want to start on that? But the team at ProFab and RJ Race Cars, they sponsor our quarterbacks and starting line cams. Vance and Hines with the Drag 965 Pro Extreme Motorcycles. Of course, Schweitzer Dynamics with Pro Nitrous. The folks with NAS Racing. We even teamed up with the Pilot Flying J. I just talked with one of their marketing guys today, and we have a special program that in the PDRA you can get a fuel card, and if you stop the official fuel stop of the PDRA, you get a discount on your fuel. Last month they sold over 12,000 gallons just from PDRA racers.
Wow. And, I'm one of those guys that's driving around the country in a toter home with a trailer, and I stop at those truck stops all the time. So when I pull off I'm on the freeway, I'm getting ready to pull off, I'm going, okay, let me see, Love's, Flying J, which one of these am I going to pick? And with them sponsoring the PDRA, I have a tendency to pick them.
Yeah,
that's right. The Pilot Flying J, it's nowhere better, and we're really glad to have them on. And that's what I asked. Are you guys seeing the results? And they said, over 12,000 gallons in a month just from your racers. Yeah, we're seeing results. So, and that's just one of our sponsors. I mean, there's been so many that had some positive feedback, and we just can't wait to grow them, get them back for next year, and continue to grow the PDRA in every way, shape, and form.
Nice. Well, once again, Derrick, congratulations. And, you guys have been doing a great job with this. Every aspect, the announcing, of course, the live feed is great. And I got to imagine that somehow, somewhere back there, quietly in the background, Jimmy Biggs is making sure everything's done 100%.
He is. Spring Break Jimmy, as we call him, he's a great asset to us. We have some of the best marketing team members in the industry. I'm so glad to be working with each and every one of them, from Denise Ramsey and Big Don, and of course Mike the Hitman Hill just joined us in the promotions department. Jimmy Biggs, and also the Motor Mania folks. But our next race, we're rolling into Memphis International Raceway, August 20th through the 22nd. And you'll already see some major changes coming there, especially for our fans. We're going to create, for the first time ever, a PDRA Kids Zone, and that's going to be pretty cool there for something for the kids to do.
I like that. Keep the family involved. Keep it family-orientated.
You know what's so cool about PDRA is the families. It doesn't matter from the spectators rolling in to the racers rolling in to the owners. Every single one of them are all family, and they're PDRA family to us.
Well, that's a big deal. Now, what's I know you mentioned before, but what website can people go to get more information?
Of course, check out PDRA660.com. Some great stories on there. That's all of our updated information. Of course, we have the Street Outlaws coming to Memphis there. That's going to be really big, with Daddy Dave and Chuck having its best 2 out of 3 match race. And but you can get all the updated information on PDRA660.com.
Nice. Well, Derrick, thank you so much. Thank you for making the big announcement here on Speed Scene Live TV. I'm sure your phone will start blowing up shortly.
Yeah.
And, everyone's going to want to know more information, but we appreciate it, and we want to congratulate you on moving up in such a great association.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm really honored to have the position, and I'm so glad that we could do it on Speed Scene Live tonight. You guys are the best, and make sure you come out to one of our races this year. We can't wait to see you.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye. Now, Bob, we're looking at these great pro mods. We're looking at these great race cars. Mm-hmm. But, you're our resident car show, archived, weird knowledge guy.
Yes, that's me, weird.
That's a roundabout compliment, isn't it, Lucky?
It's as good as I can get, okay?
Yeah.
It's as good as I can get. And I mean that with love, but...
Yeah. Hey, Casper.
Tonight...
Oh, man. Oh, yes.
Tonight you're gonna talk about some really weird stuff.
You bet. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Beck, and you've got gas here on Speed Scene Live. You know, in the days when I was growing up as a kid, I used to love going to the auto shows that showed the brand new cars because you never knew what the factories were going to bring out, and you never knew what on those concept cars would actually make it to production. So we're going to take a look at a few of the cars that actually were show cars. Now,
I know two of these, Bob, will be out of sequence. So
yes, we are out of sequence. Now, this one's a Pontiac.
Wow,
Yes.
why does that kind of look like a Corvette front end?
Yeah, it kind of does.
The side.
It was in the years of the early 50s, Oldsmobile, Buick, and Pontiac had a variation on the Corvette theme. Now, this one, you know, if it went underwater, you could think a shark was coming at
I
you.
was going to say, what the heck's wrong with that back side of it?
Yeah, that's the problem. But
did you put a spare tire in there or something?
Yeah, and it looks like they looked at the Batmobile because look at the windshields.
Sideways Continental kit or something?
Yeah, So this is a Pontiac.
Okay.
It was called the Pontiac Club de Mur, and it was from 1956.
Yeah, I can see why that one didn't
Yeah,
make
the
it.
name killed it. Everything else I liked.
Now, look at this, baby. This is one beautiful car. Now, one of the people that came out, or the companies that came out with some of the greatest looking cars, but using a lot of European influence, was Cadillac.
What? That's a Cadillac?
That is a
That
Cadillac.
looks like a Rolls Royce to me.
That's a 1953
Wow.
Cadillac Ghia Coupe. Now, Ghia, the bodybuilder in Europe,
You know,
and
it
they came
is
up with this.
so much sleeker than the contemporary Cadillac.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that would have been such a beautiful car had it come to
Totally.
production.
But you know what? Look at the rear end. Look at that tail light. You can tell that's a Cadillac from that tail light.
Yeah, it's,
But
you know,
not the front end.
Starting of the fins, 1953, they started bringing them up and getting them larger.
Yep.
But this is a very elegant car in the European fashion.
Yeah, totally.
Wow, that's a beautiful
love it.
car.
All right, now this is one of those things where, okay, guys, what were you? Well, let's
Those
see.
headlights.
We've got quad headlights, yeah, because that's the style. We'll put quad headlights on it. Why? I don't know, but
What
they
year?
went up there. Well,
58?
Yeah.
Because that's when everybody was doing quad headlights. Was
this
58.
one's 1955,
Ah.
and this came from our friends at Lincoln Continental, or Lincoln. And this was called the 1955 Lincoln Indianapolis.
I would have never guessed it was a Lincoln.
I would have never, and why would it? But now you look at it, and
I
there's
was
some
thinking
Ford
Ford,
cues there.
yeah, I was
Look
thinking
at the
Ford.
top and the windshield post.
I was thinking
56
T-Bird.
T-Bird.
Yeah,
Exactly.
T-Bird.
You got it right there.
T-Bird. Mhm.
You know, so this was kind of an interesting car, but it was like, okay, why?
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And really, nothing from this car made it into production or influenced any production cars that we ever saw from Ford again.
Well, the T-Bird, like you said, the
T-Bird.
top part did.
Yeah.
That was
Now, here we go. Another Ford vehicle. And you're looking at that going, why? It kind of looks, it reminds me of something, a balloon.
What does that
Someone blew it up.
front end look like? That
You
Vega or something?
Yeah, it looks to me like a 70s, even some of the, like the Valaris and Aspens look
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
But this
Maverick?
was didn't get as bad as it wasn't a Maverick.
No, the front end, the single headlight.
The single headlight, well, Pinto, Maverick,
yeah,
okay, Mustang, and that was a Mercury, and that was built in 1950. They don't know. They didn't keep records on this baby. This car,
1950. Who cares?
and
Nobody wanted to take credit.
well, the other thing too is we're talking about it. It was never shown to the public, and I think we've realized why.
yes, I can see why.
Boy, all that work to put it together, though. How
It
about
was.
that?
Now, one of the companies that I think put out some of the most beautiful concept cars, and none of them ever made it to production, was this Chrysler product.
Oh, I was thinking Buick for some
This-
reason. I was thinking old Buick Riviera. The rear end reminded me of
No,
that.
this-
And the wheel wells reminded me of that. The full,
this
open.
This is just a beautiful car, and it's a 1952 Chrysler d'Elegance.
D'Elegance.
I mean, that is a beautiful car.
They like that name, huh? That D
Yeah.
something.
Now, if you look at the grill, the shape of the grill became the basic shape of the grill for the Chrysler 300 series in the mid-50s.
Sure.
And the wire wheels, they went on all the Chrysler products, other than the Plymouths, I guess, for some of those years after that. They used the Kelsey Hayes type wire wheels. But this was another beautiful European-influenced coupe.
Definitely. Huh. How about it?
All right, here we go. And this one's not bad, but it's a real futuristic machine. And it was a DeSoto.
Wow.
You're kidding.
No.
Wow.
Well, another Italian design.
Another Italian
Kinda
design.
cool looking, though,
They called
really.
this the Soto Adventurer 2.
I think I would like to drive that one.
Yeah, I don't know what the Adventurer 1 looked like, but this was certainly an adventure.
Huh.
And it made out. Now, here we go.
Now that to me looks like a
T-Bird,
Ford product.
T-Bird.
Yeah, definitely. Now look at the back end. If you look from the wheels, the rear wheel back, that is 1961 T-Bird, and that is a 1953 Ford. That's how far in advance the concept cars come out with the styling cues that are going to come out. And this was almost, well, it was 1961 when they changed the body style. To
Look at that. Yeah, the hood scoop is 1958 Ford.
Yeah.
And look at that windshield, how it wraps around.
Yeah, and
It just becomes the wing window.
and the big roof pillar, like the formal roof on the 60s vintage T-Birds.
Yeah,
And of course,
yeah.
the hooded headlamps, which was all the rage later in the decade.
Yeah, and Mercury and Lincoln's got those.
Yeah, what do you know?
All right, now here was an interesting car, and this
Bruce,
was
this has got your name on it
the
right now.
name of this was the Predicta, and I think what it did is it predicted the end of Packard, because that's what it was. 1956 Packard Predictor, and it's Packard sold to Studebaker right after that. It never saw the light of day. And
Thank God.
yeah,
God, it's kind of tough to see, but look what the windshield does above the roof line. It goes way back into the
goes
roof.
way back. And it almost looks like it's a flat windshield with real sharp curves on the side.
Yeah, that must have been a bear to manufacture.
Yeah, and then the rear window. Now, here we go.
Oh, Studebaker?
Oldsmobile.
Submarine?
Yeah, submarine. It looks like a little T-Bird in the back, but yeah, this is an Oldsmobile. It's a 1956 Oldsmobile. They called it the Golden Rocket.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
I like that name.
Kind of looks like a cross between a Studebaker and a
You know,
Tucker.
Dynamite, there's something else I call my golden rocket.
Yeah.
What would that be like? Eh? Okay, what did you say? Cross between Studebaker and what? What did you think? the back
Tucker.
then? A Tucker?
yeah, okay,
You
with
think
the center.
those fins in the back look like Tucker?
Well, just the shape of the whole, with the aggressive forward nose on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 51 Studebaker. And this was 1956.
Okay, cool.
All right, here's a nice little two-tone, and this one is a Buick.
Really?
This was the Buick Centurion 2.
Oh, I'd have never guessed that.
Well,
A little bit. The side trim looks like a 56 Buick.
Yeah, and
Oh,
right
okay,
in
you're
front of the
right.
back wheel. The way it sweeps
You know,
down that
I'm on the Fote.com and I'm talking to people on the crew updates, and one of the Fote Army on there compared one of the cars to the Sharknado movie.
Sharknado 3?
Yeah, there we go. I agree with that one there. Well, and here, pretty in pink.
That's awesome.
1954 Ford La Tosca.
Look at the size of that bumper.
Would you see? I mean, that
Wow.
that would. I'm waiting for the flames to come out of the center.
Yeah.
You got two
And
exhaust
that's a
pipes.
two-door?
Well,
If I could go to
it does,
Mars,
I
this
think
is
so.
what I would
Th-
want
and
to
that's
go
what it looked
with.
Yeah.
And this was the Jetsons. I mean, come on. This was
Totally.
you know what was the
Elroy?
Elroy, but no, the TV guy.
My Favorite Martian?
No.
Okay, I'm done guessing.
Okay. I can't even remember. I picture
George Jetson?
I'm sure I'm seeing it in my, but it was a 50 series TV show about Flash Gordon.
Oh,
That's what it was.
yeah.
This looks like something he'd drive. This
So
was
does this.
Well, this is a 1951 Buick LeSabre.
Look at that crazy grill, man.
Yeah, and look at the fins. Those are Cadillac
Yeah.
fins.
Oh,
You know,
totally.
That
Cyclops.
Yeah.
bumper is part of a Cadillac bumper,
Yeah,
too.
kinda
See
looks
the-
like it.
see
Oh,
the
yeah.
front
Right, the way it
titties?
comes up at the angles
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
Dagmars.
The little bullets or whatever you want to
the
call
bullets,
those.
yeah, that's a nice word. Yeah,
Okay.
bullet, yeah. All right, now this car, I actually got to see this car when I went to the Woodward Dream Cruise a few years back. This is the 1959 GM. It wasn't assigned to any division. They called it the Firebird 3.
No one wanted to take responsibility or
no
credit.
one wanted that one.
Did you
But
see
a
it
rocket
drive?
car. No, they were actually had it parked. GM had bought out a restaurant for the weekend, and they had a lot of the concept cars in the parking lot that you could walk around and see. And this thing was amazing. It's huge, and it definitely shows you what the jet car influence was, or jets. The influence was in cars back in that day.
Hard to believe it was a 59 because by then they were starting to tone things down, essentially.
Yeah, make them more realistic. All right, now,
there we
paint
go.
this thing black, and what is it?
Batmobile.
It is the
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Batmobile, and this is actually the car that became the Batmobile.
So he just had this. George Barris
George
had
Barris
this car.
bought the car or got the car from Ford, painted it black, put a bunch of doodads on it, and it became the Batmobile. It literally was the 1955 Lincoln Futura show car, and all he did was paint it black.
Did it come with the women?
No, I think they were optional.
But then I heard that
He
when
might
they
have
first
ordered him, though.
when they first
Knowing
filmed the
George.
car,
Yeah.
they said that it didn't show up on TV on film good enough. So he went back and he painted
red.
the orange or red
around the wheel
accents
wells.
to make
Yeah.
it pop.
Pinstripe.
Yeah. Now, this one's a Buick. Now, I look at the grill and I go, okay, kind of Buick, kind of Oldsmobile, but definitely the headlights became the 1954 53, 54 Buick.
Sure. I kind of like this car. It's got some pizzazz.
It's neat. It's a two-seater, and it's from Buick. And
Oh, so it's a two-seater.
yeah, and it was a huge machine. Some of these shots are from Pebble Beach, where they showed a lot of the concept cars.
Huh.
All right,
That's crazy.
and that is a 1955 Ford Mystere. And if you look at it, there's a lot of Ford styling cues on there. The side sweep trim.
True.
But you put a red line on the top, and that could be a cop car from West Hollywood.
Man, that's so good. You know, Ford never did grow fins like that, too. They experimented with it, but they never used them.
They never
Too
used
bad.
any really big fins. They were really, like your 58, it's kind of subtle. The T-Birds, they were subtle fins. 57 T-Bird probably had the biggest fins
Yeah.
of all the Fords.
That's why I
but
like
this thing was just kind of, oh my gosh. The proportions are just so wrong.
That is, look at the size of that glass roof.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about baking people. All right, now,
Hey!
we talked about bullets.
Wow.
This is...
That one has the biggest bullets of all.
It does, and they're firm, too. But
Was this called the Marilyn Monroe?
And-
it
Pointy.
might have been, and pointy, perky. Now, if you look from the rear wheels back, you know what car it is.
Cadillac.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's a 1959 Cadillac Cyclone.
Should be Cyclops.
Cyclone, yeah. Well, and then Ford came up with the name Cyclone on the performance version of the Mercury Comet.
Yeah.
So GM forgot to register that name, I guess, and Mercury took it. But this is another strange-looking car that the fins maybe showed up on the 61
Cadillac.
Can you imagine if they combined that front end with the 59 Cadillac fins in the back?
Wow.
Now, this is one of the more beautiful cars, and I saw this car at the Peterson Museum.
Is the paint really that gorgeous?
It is that gorgeous.
Wow.
This car just recently sold to Barrett Jackson for an ungodly sum of money. It's a 1954 Oldsmobile Rocket F88. And if you look at it, yes, it was based primarily on the Corvette.
Okay.
So it looks like all the divisions got a variation of the Corvette to build as a concept vehicle. The only one that actually made it production was the Corvette itself, and it came out with different style headlights. But if you look at those headlights, they pretty much were what came out on the Corvette in 57. But you look at the grille, that is typical Oldsmobile.
Yeah, very.
And it was just a beautiful car. It's a pearl gold.
It's
And
beautiful.
it was a driving vehicle. And I saw one of the concept vehicles, the Pontiac version, not the one that we showed, the blue one. Another version that was the same size as these, that was more realistic. And it was not even a driver. It was just it was a fiberglass body with fiberglass wheels and tires, and it rolled around on something. All right, now this one's a real weird one. We talk
fish
about
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like it wants to kiss you.
Somebody
Reminds
got
me of a
fired when
girl.
they came out
They
with this.
must have. And this was a 1958 Ford X2000.
It's got
You know,
gills.
Isn't that funny?
And
It's
rocket
the sa-
launchers on the back.
Well, it's the same year as the Edsel, and there's sort of
Yeah.
an Edsel grill thing going.
Kind of, yeah. Someone that got involved in the styling grabbed an Edsel and said, "Hey, we can use this,
They
and we'll
really
get it by them."
built that? That's just not a
They
picture?
really built it.
Oh,
No,
what a
that
waste.
was a concept car. We're not sure what concept they were trying to
I
get
think
through.
the front looks like you're supposed to twist it like a wind-up toy.
Kind of.
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like- yeah, or unlock it. Turn that centerpiece there, and you've unlocked it. All right, this was one of the early Chrysler show cars.
Wow,
this was the
very smooth. Another Italian-looking job.
Yes, 1957 Chrysler Diablo.
Man, that's pretty.
That other than the front end, it kind of looks like it's smiling at you.
I suppose, yeah. That's a little odd. The whole body, though, that's a sleek shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chrysler came up with some great concept vehicles. None of them made it to production.
Well,
and
we're
back to
back
that
around.
Pontiac.
Back
yeah.
to Sharknado. Bob, this
yeah.
is one of your best segments ever. I got to tell you.
Thank you.
We
And-
all participated and enjoyed it.
And somehow I could picture you driving each and every one of these.
I would
could
love
I.
to. Yeah, that would be cool.
Man, convertible, because I know you like getting a tan.
Oh, yeah, all the time. I spend so much time in the
Hey,
sun.
Dynamite, let's go to the phones. And, Bruce, hang on that commercial break because we've got Pete hanging on, and let's bring him on the show.
Absolutely. Let's go to line 1 and welcome Pete Liebig. Pete, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Well, thank you very much.
And thanks for bearing with us. We had a wonderful segment with Bob and his gas. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, it was fun. I'm sitting here screaming it right now. I'm up in the middle of June Lake here right now. We're talking.
Well, we're glad you could. We're glad you could join us and talk a little bit about Match Race Madness. And for people that don't know, you are the official track photographer. You're the guy that gets all the great shots out there at the Barona drag strip. And just so you know, I'm wearing my official Barona T-shirt tonight. Just to,
nice.
I'm showing the love right here for Barona. It's
There
a
you go.
great place to race. I've done Match Race Madness several times. It's a lot of fun, a lot of spectators. And Pete, how does you as being the track photographer, what's your impression of
Ooh, I
Match
like
Race
that.
Madness?
Well, I think it's just a great venue. Steve Sherman, the gentleman that initially had the brainchild of putting this together, just came up with a old-time concept. Basically, this is how drag racing started. Or I remember is just heads up racing, and
Hey,
it's
look.
just bringing that back to me. It's just bringing that back into into a show again for us.
Well, and he's doing domestics, he's doing imports, he's doing motorcycles. He's got it all going on. And, of course, people can get a picture of their car. And we showed one shot where you kind of did a special effect on it. I don't know what that was called, but it almost looks like it becomes a piece of art.
There's several things I do post-production on a lot of my pictures. I do one thing with the where I will take a picture and then I'll paint it.
Oh, wow.
Ah, cool.
And
Look at
that's and I use digital painting when I do it, and that's probably one of the shots that you saw. I also have there's a new process out there that's just dynamic, and it's through one of my printers, and they do use basically a metal-based ink, and when you see the pictures live, right there in front of you, they just pop. And, everything that's metal shows up like it's metal on the picture.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
it's really, get a chance when you stop by one of these days at the booth up there at Barona, and I'll show you one of them.
Yeah, now you're there. You've got a booth there, so anyone who gets who sees a vehicle that's running there, including the ice cream Greg van you just showed, you got the photos right there, so people can buy the photo of their favorite car or their particular car.
Yes. We're set up to do photos right there on site, so it's kind of neat to be able to do that. And we do anywhere from 5x7s, 8x10s on site, and I take orders from tickets.
Okay. And I think that whoever wins, isn't there some kind of a deal where your photo's on the plaque or the trophy, or aren't you somehow affiliated with the winners of the Match Race Madness?
On some of the races, this particular race, we're just going to be doing a trophy, just to kind of break the routine there. But we do a magazine cover, and what I'll do is I'll put the winner of each one of the races in that magazine cover, and it looks, again, it's pretty dynamic on how it makes you look like you're in a real magazine.
Wow.
That is cool.
You got some great shots. The cars doing the burnouts, and I love the way you got them with the wheels up.
Yeah, you do a great job, Pete.
Well, I got to give the track a plus to that. They're really nice to me up there, and they're really nice to and I don't stop any other photographer from coming up because my philosophy is that they take every one of us takes a different picture, and we just again the track lets you put out them right down there on the track, and again you can go some places that some other tracks won't let you go.
I see you also take photographs of young ladies as well, Pete.
Oh, yes. At the racetrack, really, to be honest with you, I hire another photographer to come in to shoot the ladies for me because I'm so busy out there shooting the cars. But, no, usually on like Match Race Madness, so some of the other big events, we'll bring some of the models in. And
they're very patriotic in their swimwear. Yes, I'd like to see that.
Well, Dynamite, it's kind of nice because, the regular guy doesn't always get a chance to get a photo of his car with like a professional model. So there's these young ladies going around, and they can work out a deal and get a photo with the girls or one girl or all the girls. And, it's a nice memento. I mean,
yeah, they can be used for evidence later at the trial.
Exactly. Touche, Bob.
Yeah, she's showing that too.
Well, I got to you, both Diane, and you, Lucky, we have been up at the race, and I have gotten some fairly good photos of you guys as you've been racing. I think I can't remember which one of the races, either 3 or 4. I think you guys were matched up, weren't you?
Well,
I want to use that word "hooking up" a little differently in this conversation.
Yeah, they hook up at the starting line.
Poor
right
Lucky
there,
just got like a knee somewhere, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, so much for that silver bullet. Yeah, you showed a picture of Lucky's car leaving the starting line.
Yeah, it was a great shot. You caught the burnout smoke and everything. It really looked good. Yeah. Now, Pete, you will be at the next Match Race Madness. It's coming up. Is it August
8th?
August 8th at night under the lights. And boy, that should be nice because it'll be a little cooler and you get the excitement of the lights. And really, it's going to be a fun event.
Yeah, every one of them has been exciting. We've had some real exciting finishes on basically every one of the races, and again, all the racers seem to enjoy it. And they've all been paired up pretty close to each other, so there's always been good races.
Well, Pete, now if people want to get a hold of you, what website or where can they get a hold of you and maybe see some of your photos?
Okay, they can go to my website, which is PeteLiebigPhotography.com, and they can just go to the drag race button, and it takes them to all the drag races that we've had up at Barona this year and last year.
Hey, Pete, have you ever figured out, if you were still using film rather than digital, how much money would you spend in a typical drag racing year if you were using film?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Too much.
Well, look, I would say that I would definitely need a whole bunch of sponsors out there.
Yeah, and you couldn't give people their photographs right there at the show like you do.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, we shoot an average between 1,000 to 1,500 pictures.
Wow.
Wow. And, of course, your booth is right there. I think you usually set up next to the concession stand, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes, right next to the food stand.
Yeah, perfect.
Popcorn and photos.
See my sign there. So it's Pete Liebig Photography. Yeah, you tell your guests to swing by and say hi to my lovely wife out there. She's the one that does the processing when I take the pictures in. Because basically what we do is we'll have a series, and I'll take the pictures in, and she immediately downloads them there at the booth, so that the drivers can come in. A lot of the drivers will come in and see what their cars are doing. Take a look at because we get a lot of their launch shots, so they'll take a look at their rear tires and see if they're inflated correctly, or we'll see how they're launching off the start line, making sure that they're going straight. So, but anyway, it's a lot of fun, and again, just anybody's interested in wanting to come down and talk with us, we're there at basically every race there at the track.
Sounds great, Pete. Well, thanks so much for calling in, and I highly recommend that the next time anybody goes to Barona, stop by Pete's booth, check out his stuff. He's got a great talent for catching your car just at the right moment, and it's great to be able to pick up a reasonably priced souvenir, take it home with you that same day. And
or how about provide something to your sponsor and show them, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm at, and here's a photograph of my car for your shop.
Nice. Great idea, Dynamite. So, Pete, thanks again, and we'll see you down at Barona for the next Match Race Madness.
Okay. Looking forward to seeing you.
Take care, Pete. Bye-bye.
Take care.
And let me ask you, Lucky, let's back up a couple of photos.
Yes, please.
Yes.
The car on
How
the
far
left
back?
lane there on the right-hand side,
Diana?
since we're facing it. Is that Diane Branham?
Diane Branham, yeah.
That is. She is the first lady of Match Race Madness. She's the first young lady that competed, and
She raced against you, Lucky,
yep,
right?
we it was her and I raced each other, and then she's come down every time. I think the last time she actually raced her son. He has
yeah.
a Nova.
Yeah.
And her husband, Jim.
Yeah.
Great guy, does all the work on the car. And you know what? Diane is really a nice person. If you get a chance to go down, stop by her pits, say hello. And her car is beautiful. Every little inch of that car is just flawless.
Yeah, we were talking about her. I'd like to give her a shout out. She's going to have some surgery. She hasn't been driving lately.
Oh.
So she's going to have some little, I think, neck or back surgery coming up.
Okay, well, I hope she does well. Good luck to you. And
Well wishes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess that's a good reason to stay out of the driver's seat for a little while.
Yes.
But that's kept her away from the strip. She's been at Irwindale almost every Thursday night.
Yep, she is. What's it say on the back of her truck? Something about badass grandmas drive badass race cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she tows her own car.
Yeah.
Jimmy tows his. She tows hers.
Good for her.
And they're out there at the track,
Definitely.
doing it every week. So that is a great deal. Hey, Bruce, we probably have enough time to do a little bit of what's going on. And, of course, as you guys mentioned at the top of the show, next week we are going to have RJ with the world's fastest 69 Camaro.
Yeah, the big bad fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And we want to thank all of our sponsors. A special thanks to Curry Racing Rear Ends, as well as Aeromotive and Hedman Hustler Headers. And let's not forget M&H Tires and theFoat.com.
And don't miss their TV show. You can check out the Big Red Camaro. Where, Bruce?
Yeah, NBC SN comes at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Mondays, so check your local listings because, they have to jog it for various time zones. But RJ Gottlieb, the driver, of course, and the show is called, just so you can check to make sure you watch it, Big Red, the original outlaw racer.
Well, cool.
And you know how that is, Diana Mite. Yes. Whenever they show a show, usually during the week, you could catch a rerun.
A lot of times you can go, if you have like Time Warner Cable, or you can actually do a search. If you just put the information on the show itself, it'll show you every time that it's coming on and the channels that it's coming on. So
DirecTV,
same thing. Do a search if you have DirecTV or Time Warner or Comcast or what have you. Go to your channel guide and find it. That's the easiest way and most efficient way. We want to let everybody know that NHRA Hot Rod Reunion, that's going to be at the New Hampshire Dragway, August 28th through the 30th. Lucky, you going to be there?
I'm going to be there. And the last couple years, they've done it about 2 weeks later in the year. And so they moved it up a little bit. They're looking for better weather. They moved it into the tourist season.
Is the lobster still going to be fresh during 2 weeks early? I need to make sure, because if I'm going to travel to the East Coast, guys and gals, can you tell me, Dina? Tell me, is the lobster still going to be fresh at the end of August?
You are actually moving into the lobster season more. You've come out at the tail end of the lobster
the
season.
tail end of the lobster is what I want.
Yeah.
Touche!
Nice.
You like that, don't you?
Well, that's going to be a great deal. If you want more information, go to Google NHRA Museum. Look under reunions. You'll see that. And the following weekend, September 4th through the 6th, the Yellow Bullet Nationals at Cecil County. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be racing my car there. And, man, this is a great race. Once a year, all of us Yellow Bullet people head on out and raise hell.
Then September 18th through the 20th, NMCA returns to Fontana. It's going to be an NMCA weekend down there.
Well, Bob, tell us what's going on at Irwindale.
We're going to be racing on Thursday night this week. We've got oval track on Saturday night. We've been doing some Saturday night drag racing, too.
Yeah.
We've got one more coming up August 22nd. We're going to have cops and racers.
Ooh, cops and robbers.
The police chiefs from the local areas are coming in. We've been telling them how good drag racing is and what it does for the community. They're coming in to see for themselves and put the pedal to the metal, and we're going to see how quick the local police chiefs can be.
Ooh,
Nice,
I like that a
nice.
lot.
I like that. And then, it kind of helps promote a positive
That's it.
image of
Yeah,
the local
I remember
police.
years ago at the
they're
Rialto
coming for us.
racetrack, I raced a police, and it was called
here they come.
Beat the Heat.
Beat
you
the
remember
Heat,
that?
yes.
Beat the Heat. I got a little trophy
Yes.
for Beat the Heat because I beat the Heat.
Oh, there you go. And one thing we've noticed, though, is that no matter what the police chiefs are driving, whether it's a Ford, a Dodge, or a Chevrolet, you may be able to beat those, but you cannot beat the Motorola.
Ah, that's right.
Oh, the radio.
Because it moves at the speed of light,
That's
baby.
it, baby.
I thought you were going to say the helicopter, but
Oh, no, I've had a friend do that already.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, 160 miles an hour on the 210 freeway is what they estimated him.
Oh, was he on a motorcycle, I hope?
No,
No.
he was in a little Mazda RX-2. And
Wow.
he was one of the guys I used to road race with. And
it's so embarrassing to go to jail and say you got arrested in a Mazda RX.
no, actually, he probably has that ticket framed. I mean,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
I was doing 160.
At least it wasn't a Prius.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back next week. We want to put a special thank you and congratulations to Derrick Beach from the PDRA. We want to thank Jimmy Biggs for setting that up and congratulate him on his new job.
Senior
helping-
Vice President.
Yeah.
Man, he's going to help bring that into the new era of
Yep.
the PDRA.
Don't forget the little people, Derek. Don't forget the little. Yeah.
Hey, Derrick, since you're going to be busy, do you need another announcer?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what the heck?
Didn't
We
think
al-
about that.
We
Have
also
Mal
want
Thrill
to
travel.
thank Dale Creasy and, of course, Pete. How do you say his last name?
Liebig.
Liebig.
Leave it.
There you go. I'd rather ask than butcher.
Yeah, it's
Or do both.
rather be Sweeney Todd than, that's a different kind of a book.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at this. The encore presentation, in case that was the top question on your brain right now. It is coming up next. Thanks for joining us this week for Speed Scene Live, and we're going to be back a week from right now at SpeedSceneLive.com.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and theFoat.com.